Welcome back, you guys. This is your girl, Wicked Raider 22, taking a closer look at Arena today. And there's been a lot of talk. There has been a lot of talk in the community about this particular section of the game. Most of you guys by now should have opened Tag Team Arena, especially if we all started together for your free to play accounts. So we've taken a quick look at Classic Arena when we first started out in the game. And one thing that many of you noticed, which I have not been spending a lot of time in this section, there have been quite a few changes as you begin to progress forward in Arena. So if you haven't, for example, I've run into several people that are kind of figuring out whether they want to kind of use the resources for Arena or if they're just logging in during their 5 and hopping out. There are a couple of reasons. Keep in mind that your Classic Arena has a direct connection to your Great Hall. The Great Hall is the one area of the game that impacts your entire account. Every single champion that you have acquired. So it's pretty important. What I do encourage people to do at the bare minimum is to log in each day and to do your 5 battles. This will at least allow you to continue with those smaller missions and quests that you're able to go through. And normally especially on my pay to play accounts, I do quite a bit of Arena. I personally love Arena. I also like Tag Team Arena, but there are a couple of flaws as you begin to move from one level to the other. And some of these flaws have actually been around for quite a while, and many of them are tied to the ranking system that's used within Arena. Now, as you can see, a lot of your beginning battles are going to be very straightforward. We're completing these battles in about 8 seconds. The biggest thing is your bronze medals, which these are going to be used within the Great Hall themselves. You can obtain some materials like Magisteel for the Forge. And then, of course, you have your classic arena points. And those are going to add up for you as well. And what you're trying to do is to have a smooth progression from one level to the next. What I have realized that as I move through Arena, especially when you are farming this area, so that you're able to go in and fill in your Great Hall, the battles that you start with compared to the battles that you end up getting a couple of rounds in, it's pretty impressive. The other thing you're going to notice with Arena as well is as you are working through and when you get really close to moving from one tier, one level to another. So for this particular tier, I already have 938 points. Once I reach 1,000, I should move up. When I get closer to about 980 or so, the teams that are available for me to battle change significantly. And what normally happens in beginner arena, you end up with several different teams that have varying power levels. You are truly tiered off. But as you move and try to go from, bronze to silver to gold to platinum, you'll notice that those battles don't refresh the same way. Now, here's something else that I'm always thinking about and looking at whenever I'm going through Arena as well. I pay attention to the team compositions that others have put together. Now, some have said that these are previously active teams that are no longer active that players have put together. I've seen some people say that these teams are pulled at random. Either way it goes, I like to see the combination. For example, on this particular team, I pulled all these champions before. You guys know I am a fan of Shaman. On my Raid Raver accounts, I've decided to go ahead and, at least get her to level 50. She's been a nice game changer for me. With Jizo, honestly, that's a champion that I ended up using him as food. I didn't keep him very long, only because I had 2 or 3 other champions that were kind of in that same area. With Talia, I'm currently working with her on a new free to play account, and I will actually jump over to that account for you guys and some upcoming videos because I've actually pulled some champions even this early in the game that I had not experienced before. And Hex Weaver, I have not had a chance to build her out, though I have pulled her before. The one thing that you will definitely receive quite a few of will be the arena tokens. And a couple of weeks ago, for example, right before we had a major tournament in Clan v Clan, a promo code came out, especially the one from August, that was really good on providing those additional tokens for both Classic Arena and Tag Team Arena. So I'm always on the lookout for those as well. And you guys hopefully have noticed whenever we have promo codes, we post those videos pretty quickly as soon as we ensure that those codes are still active. And what I'm trying to do is to get to this 980 point so you guys can kind of see what I mean. Going down through teams, the other thing I'm paying attention to is how is my team working together? So synergistically, how are all the players working? Do I need to change their position on the team as well? And because I've gone so far without doing arena, I'm not really running into extremely tough teams so far. So that's another good one. I do want to get Deliana up to level 50, so I'll definitely be running some multi-battles there. Same is going to go for Armiger. So trying to decide who on the list will be elevated to that 6-star is going to be a pretty big decision for me. I have seen champions. I've seen some teams, honestly, where they have obviously several champions that are level 50, but no decision has been made to 6-star. And I can tell you guys, if you have not made the leap to 6-star champion, it is most definitely worth it. It's hard to see the champion go back down to a level 1, though they're 6-star and have to make it all the way back to level 60. There's a lot of grind to it, but you can definitely see the change in that particular champion's ability as well. Now, Classic Arena, here we go. We made it to 989. And by this point, for most of us, it's going to auto refresh for us. So we're still doing good. What you will notice, the more you move up, you're going to start hitting teams that are closer and closer, of course, to your particular power level. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There are a couple of teams that I am avoiding on purpose, and you may have already noticed. If you have a team, honestly, that is currently running Legendary Death Knight, oh my gosh, guys, he can be a pain, an absolute pain in the arena. And I've especially noticed it at the gold level, where my other account currently is. There are a lot of teams that have incorporated him. And when you put him on a team where he has the support, he can become quite the nuisance. Now, I'm looking here because I've been working up. My good little Death Knight is at level 33, but we have Shaman. The only person on this team, honestly, that kind of makes me nervous would be Ninja. I've seen Ninja at a couple of different levels, and I'm going to just go in since the power level for team power is a little bit different. Don't always go by team power. Team power can actually be pretty deceiving, especially if they are running particular champions. Death Knight, Legendary Death Knight is one of those. Ninja is another one. Now, this one isn't fully mastered out. You can tell by the way his energy is dropping so quickly. But I have seen ninjas that have been placed in unkillable artifacts. I've also seen some that have that counterattack. So they are ready to move at all times. I do recommend that when you start arena, kind of make a couple of goals for yourself. If you want to do at least 10 battles a day, the progression that you make and the changes that you can go to your great hall and make are going to be more than worth it. On the opposite side of it, tag team is another one. There's not necessarily a push to improve yourself. So it's kind of like a self-motivator. There have been a lot of creators that are asking for more, even in like Tag Team Bazaar. Even when you're farming for Great Hall, maybe there could be like an alternative way for you to obtain those medals needed to improve your Great Hall. There are players that have been playing for years that have actually not maxed out their Great Hall at this point. And so the biggest thing that you're thinking about is what's going to be most important. And I told you guys, for me, starting with defense was one area. I did not have a lot of artifacts in that area as well, but it's one area across the board I wanted to strengthen my team. So I know that I want to have the all maxed out Great Hall. It's going to take quite a bit of effort on my end as well. Guys, the first couple of levels in Arena, you should do pretty well. We've had a chance to get a couple of our players to level 50. We're almost there with Deliana. We're almost there with Legendary Death Knight. I will actually run him through a couple of multi-battles today as well. So when you're thinking about it, you're just kind of making that progress so that you can move over and make a bigger impact on all of your teams across the board. Now, here's a champion. I don't think I've seen her before. The other thing I'm doing is associating name with skills. And so I'm kind of looking like, what does that particular champion do? And how well do they do it, which sometimes you can't tell because they die too quickly on you. So that's Battle Sage. And Battle Sage is one of those that I would go in, take a look at just the skill, the skill set, and see exactly what the champion has going on. We're going to finish out. We'll do another 2. I know on certain accounts, you will definitely obtain quite a few arena tokens. So running out of tokens is usually not the number one thing or concern for you. But if you haven't started Arena, definitely start Arena. If you have not started missions, because missions is another thing. These are 2 areas I tell people all the time. You will see so many people that have actually been dealing with the game for so long, but have skipped certain sections. Now, this account, I'm currently out of Classic Arena tokens, which is fine. Don't forget, you can always go in and kind of look at the top players. You can also see where you are ranked as far as your team. Honestly, I'm not as concerned about being number 1 in this area. I do not place my best champions across my team. That's just not my concern, but you can kind of see how these teams are laid out. A lot of teams are going to run Duchess. Quite a few will have the Legendary Death Knight. There are some players here. Oh, I can't even remember all their names, but you will see like Arbiter is another one. I've seen some pretty nicely laid out teams as well. And the other thing you'll start to notice is some of the champions that are used, they're repeated quite a bit as well. Don't forget, you're always trying to move up tiers. I have made it to gold tier in my other accounts, but guys, I will tell you from experience, this silver going from bronze to silver is a big one. It is a big one. The other thing you're looking at is as you progress from silver layer tier to silver tier is another one. So it gets kind of sticky for you as well. Some people will definitely come in and make some changes here. I just kind of leave mine nice and even. If they're defeated, fine. If they're not, that's great as well. But the battles that I choose, I'm going to choose those specifically. Now, another motivator for tag team, and you're going to start out with some pretty good teams that are very accessible to you. I encourage you just to go in, make sure all of your teams, of course, are nice and full because some of these champions are going to move around. And so you should be able to run tag team by this point in your account pretty smoothly. If nothing else, bare minimum, 5 battles per day will be enough to keep you nicely engaged and kind of making some slow progress forward. So, especially with shorter battles where they're only putting in 1 champion, these are the ones I'm going to hop in on first, just to kind of see how everybody is working out. You will see I have Apothecary that's working a little bit because I definitely want to put him to use as well. Don't forget with Tag Team Arena, guys, the Bazaar. The Bazaar is not the happiest place on earth. There are a lot of creators that are really not happy with this. The Bazaar doesn't change. And I'll be honest, for example, this champion comes from a fragment. Bloodhorn, I've already pulled him on another team, but you are able to pull 10 fragments at a time for 150 bars. Same is going to be true for Huntress. I'll have to take a look at her to see if Huntress is even worth it, but it's one of those. The same is true here as far as your fragments. And when it comes to this particular champion, Drexstar, Blood Twin, you can only get 1 fragment for 360 bars. And remember, you need 100 fragments to fully be able to summon that champion. You do have type charms that are available. There are certain accessories that are only accessible to you after you have reached a particular rank. And even if you're looking at a void shard, guys, 15,000 bars. Gold tier is going to be another one. 30,000 for a sacred shard, 20,000 for a rank 5 chicken. Legendary skill tomb, you can at least get one for 25,000 bars. So there's a nice jump. There's a nice little leap as you're going through and trying to decide what you're going to actually do with these gold bars. The one thing I will say is there are moments where the only thing you're going to come here for is energy. There are times when I'm going to come for this little set of magic brews, and that's about it. So you're just picking and choosing. I would love to see some changes on this area of the game, but honestly, I don't foresee any huge changes coming anytime soon. Now, there are some beginning players that do not have 12 champions, and that's okay. I have ran as few as 2 champions per team and still had slots available. As you can see, we're going against those people that have set up a team of just one. So just being active, knowing that you're in there, knowing that your champions are going to get better is exactly what you are looking for. Paying attention also to how long my champions are able to survive. So right now, Diabolus and Elhain are not giving me what I need. I need some longevity to add in. And we're going against Deliana at a level 50. We definitely know how this particular champion works, but I don't expect Elhain to be down so quickly. And at this point, I would expect my Diabolus to have a little bit more to her as well. I know we're still building Armiger. So tag team is a really good way for you to kind of see what you have done well so far, as well as those areas that you will need to focus in as well. This is what Miss Creative Monster can definitely make a difference. So being able to see what he's able to accomplish on a team, especially when he has to work by himself. And at the end, he did not make it. Now, this is Jizo that we're going against, and I have my shield guard who isn't quite maxed, not even close. Deliana, we've got Mother Superior, and then we pulled out Bloodhorn as well. And all of these champions are kind of focused a little bit differently. I know that these three in particular, Shield Guard, Deliana, and Mother Superior, will become a permanent fixture on the team. Bloodhorn is going to be sacrificed pretty soon because I'm going to need him to actually power up another champion. So I know a lot of people save their epics and their rares, whether they use them or not, and they simply stick to commons and uncommons as food. Normally, I would say I do that, but with over 1,000 champions in the game, we're going to be cycling through quite a few of these. So that becomes interesting as well. Now, last but not least, we've got a team that's battling Kale. And with High Katoon and, of course, Legendary Death Knight, Apothecary went down pretty quickly. Lamabert is another one. I've used him in Faction Wars before and had some different gear on him, and he was pretty cool. But when it comes to Apothecary, for example, he's one of those champions I definitely need to work with. Now, here's what I was talking about. Even though you have champions that are level 50, for example, and they're going against a team that is 3-4 times their speed or their team power level, you can still be defeated. And it's most common when you make it to the area where you are going from one section through this threshold to the other. With each arena battle, the other thing that you are keeping in mind is when you lose, you're also going to lose those arena points. So you've got to be very careful. So there is a net loss of, overall. You're looking at, we've lost 20, we gained 10, so we're down 10 in the hole either way it goes. The other thing that you're going to notice is this level of power is going to change. I can tell you now that Diabolus does not have the artifacts that she needs because her numbers should be much higher. Same thing is going to go for Elhain. So it's a good time for me to start getting to the point of running dungeons so that I'm able to access not only the forge and better materials, but I can also access better gear. That's kind of what I use the arena for, to gauge myself and to see where progress needs to be made. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and subscribe. We definitely post content every Monday through Friday, just dropping a couple of tips from the perspective of a beginner. Always open to tips and tricks from you guys as well. Let me know, how is your account progressing? How do you like Arena? Which one is your favorite, Classic Arena or a tag team? If they made changes, what changes would you like Plarium to make? That's going to be the biggest one. We've got so much stuff coming this way. So we want to be as active as we can be. Keep me posted. Definitely leave a comment. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon.